Is you okay back there? Welcome back to FosterMamisMansion. You already know what we're here with today. It's another episode of the HoeFAX. So jumping right in, I was going through my DMs and I found a little bit of something. So I laugh at that because obviously I know the answer to the question. But how can I be sure that y'all know the answer to that question? And I came across the answer. So there's that. So speaking of dropping people off, that brought me to this story that I'm going to tell y'all today. But we'll get back to the bro 2-pump jump at the end. So for now, I'm going to tell y'all a story about when I got stuck on the side of the road. So this is when I first moved to a new town. I don't remember what happened to my car. I just know that I ended up on the side of the road. I think it was a flat. So I got a flat tire. So I got out the car to look at the flat, I think it was. And the first car that passes me stops. It was like an older Spanish guy and a younger Spanish guy. It kind of like dad and son, but they look nothing alike. So I didn't think that they were. To this day, I don't really know the status of the relationship, like what they really were to each other. But basically they stopped and they helped me move the car from where it was. It was in a dangerous spot to like a parking lot. And basically offered me a ride home. And usually I would say no, but I spent a good amount of time with them where I was semi-comfortable with it. I was right down the street from where I had to be. So, and they had a female with them. They had a female too. That was why. There was a female too, an older man and the younger kid. So that was why it was like they were trying to portray that they were a family, but you can tell like it was some dealer and fiend, and then the younger guy being more of like the dealer and trainer or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of like seemed like to me. Basically, the older guy ends up asking me for my number for his wife, because she don't have no friends around town, and they knew I was doing town, so they were saying, oh, we can be friends. So I'm like, okay. So I give them my number and go on my merry way. Basically, I never heard from them until like maybe a month or two later. I get this random call on my phone. I pick up the phone and to my surprise, it's the younger one. I was caught off guard, I'm not gonna lie. When we had met, he had just had a baby. The baby was like 2 weeks old and he had a fiance. But he was contacting me apparently. They had just broke up and he was thinking about me since the day he saw me. Y'all know what guys say. So we hang out. I don't really remember how it happened, but obviously we start to fuck. And he's behind me at this point. And he's like, he's getting a little slow. And I'm like, is you good? Is you okay back there? Hey. So, and basically he just stops and he starts crying. And he's just like, you're just not her. And literally just stops and sits on the couch and starts crying. And I was just like, oh. And I was taken back at first. But this is when me and Blue first broke up. So I was fucked up from the situation. So that shit was fresh still. So I start crying and we literally laid there completely naked crying about how he broke my heart and what she did to break his heart. It was insane. Like that's probably the most emotional freaking sexual encounter I ever had. It was crazy. And we never fucked again. And basically he disappeared, obviously, because they got back together. And they broke up again. And, you know, like they were always on and off. Like she was just crazy. And he was in love with this girl. Like I've never seen a man love somebody so much where he stopped having sex with somebody else and started crying. Like, y'all niggas literally do everything possible to go get some pussy when y'all break up with somebody. This nigga was trying so hard to do what everybody else was doing and could not do it. I only cried because he did. Like, I could have held it together. I only cried one time having sex. And that was my motherfucking karma. Making somebody else cry. Somebody else's bitch cried because I was fucking her man. And I know she cried because he told me she cried. And basically, Blue cheated on me and it made me cry. So that was my one time crying during sex. But that was my karma. So you know what I'm saying? You take it on the back. You're like, it's kind of like criminals. You do the crime, you do the time. You know, like I made her cry. Now I had to cry. You know, like period. That's just the way it is. And we definitely got karma stories. Like, bruh. So I haven't spoke to him since that day at Walmart, and that was it. Until a couple months later, I was dealing with somebody else, and he ends up knocking on the door, and the guy that I was dealing with answers the door, and the car guy happened to pick up something that I dropped outside of my car, and luckily picked that up because he comes to the door, and when the other guy had answered the door, he used that as the excuse, and he said, oh, I was just leaving the neighbor's house and I saw this outside your car, so I was knocking to give it to you. And I heard his voice, and I knew who he was from his voice. And I just sat on the couch and let that shit roll out just like that. I don't give a fuck. But I'm a bitch. As soon as he closed the door, I said he was lying. I said, that's the nigga I was fucking before you. He was like, man, shut up. Like, niggas never think I'm telling the truth. Always think I'm lying. Always think I'm joking. Nothing's a joke. I'm dead ass serious. That nigga I was fucking before you. Like, what you mean? I tried to, and he got emotional. So we ain't gotta talk about that with her. But that's the last time I ever heard his voice, ever knew he existed or anything. I never heard from him again. And I ended up moving, and that's it. Maybe this video will go viral when we can find him. I kind of want to know if he's still with that girl. But back to, was I with him? The text says what it says. I was. I hung out with Ralph all the time. And we would kiss and we would touch each other and all that. But it ain't never go no further as far as that goes. We ain't never fucked. For everybody who got that misconception, nope, that one didn't happen. That one didn't hit it. But as you know, I did 2-pump. Oh, and the cousin that they're always with. And that's the HoeFAX for today. So as always, comment below, subscribe so you can make sure you're here for the next HoeFAX story. We got some special guests coming. It's gonna be freaking wild. It's gonna be crazy. So stay tuned. That's the HoeFAX.